Howdy, everybody. Welcome to episode 31 of the Brother Sister Show. My name's Livia, and I host this show with my brother.
Anthony.
And today we're going to talk about monsters versus aliens. That's that's my review of the movie. You get a snippet of it right now. But before we do that, we're going to catch up. We have two goals that we have for every episode is to catch up and to talk about a movie. So, number one, what have you been up to?
Man, not a damn thing. I've been up to nothing. So much so that I have been building up my Twitter drafts for a while now, just because I feel weird posting anything that isn't about the state of the world, just something stupid. So I have three right now. One of them is a quote retweet from a tweet that I made a long time ago, like a year ago.
Oh
So the first one is, why is it childish to get an ant bite? Because I was mowing the lawn and I got an ant bite and I was like, I felt like I was like a child. I felt like I was a toddler.
I hate how
no one
accurate
gets
that is.
no one gets ant bites except for toddlers.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time. I feel like I get spider bites in my sleep more often than an ant bite.
Yeah. So sometime that'll be released. If not, someone will steal it and tweet it. I have a funny story actually. I made a tweet a long time ago. It was when I was working at Six Flags. Yes, I worked at Six Flags. I was one of those people who had the like broom and dustpan and would just walk around and sweep stuff and clean up vomit. And I was just walking around and I just see all the sponsorships and I tweeted, I'm tired of seeing something along the lines of like, I'm tired of seeing proud sponsors. I want to see some reluctant or ashamed sponsors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cut to 2-3 years later, I watch a Dimitri Martin Comedy Central video, and it's like the exact same bit. Maybe not the same wording, but it's the same bit. And
I remember this because you texted it to me, and I was like, "Look at the dates on your tweet and his bit," because his was like so long ago.
No, it wasn't.
Mine was.
Mine was after. I mean,
before. I
before.
don't remember that.
Mine was before.
No, I think yours was after.
It was
also
not.
Just a random story that I remember after you mentioning that you worked at Six Flags was how like you told me and mom for some reason. Me and mom were in the room for some reason, and you were saying that you were like giving us all of your dream companies to work for, and one of them was Disney, and she was like, so you could like clean up the parks like in Six Flags. We were like, no, dummy. Like, why would he want to work at the amusement park?
That's the goal. That's the dream.
Anyways, I'm sure nobody's going to steal ant bites being childish. And if they do, I don't know. Both of y'all are dumb.
All right. So I made this tweet a long time ago, about a year ago. It said, can't think of anything more degrading than having to poop with a backpack on. I was in school, and in stalls, you know, they have the little hook so you can put stuff. This one didn't have that, so I had to poop with my backpack on, and I wasn't gonna put it on the floor because that's gross. So I had to poop with it on, and I felt lesser than. And I want to reply to that and say, never mind, a mask is way worse. Have you pooped with a mask on? It's bad.
In what scenario? Like at a store?
Yeah, I was at Target and I had to go.
Okay. Why are you going to the restroom at a store, at a public restroom during a pandemic? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm not going to be able to hold it in. If I'm going, I'm going. Pandemic or not.
Oh my God.
COVID can't stop my poop.
That's a tweet. All right.
That's a tweet. And then my last one, which is, I don't even know, is, think you're ready for a baby? ? You probably couldn't even handle adopting a highway, which is, I don't know.
Some of them, okay, so I like a lot of your tweets. Sometimes I feel like I think for the sponsors one, I texted you and I was like, this should have been workshopped more or something. Like
Yeah,
some of the wording is not great. But I mean, I know like writing isn't it's something you're working on, but it's not like a big strength of yours.
it is not. I spend a lot of time, although it doesn't seem like it. I spend a lot of time thinking about because when I came up with this adopt a highway, having a kid, all I knew was like in my mind it didn't make any sense, but it made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a while for me to filter it down.
Have you ever? Well, I don't know if you've ever. I was listening to something of. Well, so one of my friends is she does stand up, and I was listening to. I think it was like a podcast that she was on. Um, just randomly, I found it one day because I think I like searched something. I don't know. I don't remember why I watched this, but I was watching it, and it was a like good advice for, or I think she was saying why she likes to write stand-up jokes. And it's kind of what you're saying, where you have two things that you want to connect, or you have like a joke, like this the inkling of a joke, and you want to like building that is really fun, and like trying to find the way that they connect and the wording and all of that. So
Yeah.
I never thought of like writing like that, so I thought that was kind of cool. But I want to say that I throughout the whole time you were reading these, it took me almost that entire time to figure out how to find my drafts. I think I've asked you before how to find them, and then I
Yeah.
couldn't remember because they've changed it, right? It's like it's not been like this before. Um,
No, it's been like this for a while.
um, I don't know. I have two though.
What up?
This one has been. I think I asked you about this one a long time ago. I've just never tweeted it. But I said leveled up in adulthood by getting a grease stain out of my jeans. Next level of adulthood, stop eating food that drips grease onto my jeans.
That's
Maybe that'll go out one day.
a
And the
mouthful
next
though.
one, yeah. Well, it's a mouthful to say, but I like spaced it really
Oh,
well,
okay.
so it's fine. And my next one, or my last one, is my friend made me the emergency contact for her dog, and I've truly never felt more honored.
Mm.
Which actually was true.
How does that work?
So she was going away for like not a couple of weeks. It was like a weekend. And for cat, she has a cat, and for cats you can like just leave enough food and water and they'll be fine. But for
Yeah.
dogs, you have to like put them in a boarding place. It's
Hmm.
basically a hotel for dogs. Um, and so she left her dog there, and she had to have an emergency contact in case something happened to her dog while she was gone. And her family doesn't live here,
Oh,
so
you
I
were the
was
next
picked.
best.
Yes.
That's like being the godparent of a dog. That's the equivalent right there.
I have a godchild.
That's cool.
But yeah.
Was that it? Was that all you had?
My drafts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a lot of like thoughts, or I'll like write them down in my notes. That would be a wild thing to do, is to go through my notes,
Mm.
but let's not, because
That's for another
some of them are
episode.
not good. Yeah, there's one titled Surrogate. No idea what that is. Yeah. One titled Fishy. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, just the titles alone are wild.
I just remembered one that I didn't think was good enough to put in my drafts, but I'm gonna put it in there because I keep on forgetting it.
What is
Um,
it?
what is it? It's towels or blankets that you can get wet. That's it. That's the tweet.
I think that's fine staying in your head.
Yeah, I think so too. That's probably why I haven't put it in.
Towels are blankets you can get wet. Wow. If since you edit this podcast, I suggest you edit that out. No, I'm kidding. Well, is that it going on? Do you have anything else going on you want to talk about? Or that you've
Mm,
seen?
I finished Avatar.
You already said that.
Did I say that?
I think so,
As
yeah.
as I was saying that, I remembered that I already talked about that because we talked.
Just a reminder, just recap. Yeah, I'm
It's,
pretty sure you talked about that.
yeah. Oh, I'm pretty sure I talked about this too, but I'm further along in watching Mr. Robot. Uh, it's really weird.
It's pretty good though. Are you still on the first season?
No, I'm on season 3 right now.
Oh. I think it was the first season has a good like payoff, like has a good twist.
It really does, and
Did you know about it or it like
it
so yeah.
completely blindsided me. It blew my mind, and I was like, it was. I really liked how it made me think about the other episodes, and was like, how is this happening?
Oh,
How is
I
this?
love those. We need to do so that we need to do a movie like that. Not next because next I have like I it's my pick and I have where somebody else is gonna join us. Um, but I want to do. We haven't done a movie like that in a while. I mean, I guess like The Lodge, but not really. But I love movies where it's like plain as day. Like once you watch it again, it's plain as day what's happening. But when you first see it, there's like a twist. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if we've done one like that.
Uh, Not off the top of my head. I mean, Stuber
All right.
is.
What else have you seen?
That's pretty much it. Other than the movie we're gonna talk about, I haven't had a whole lot of time to consume anything really. So that's been it.
Alrighty.
What about you?
So I've had a wild week. um, I found a way to badly sprain my toe. I for a while we were talking about this off pod, and then I was like, wait, I need to talk about this. Um, I hit it on my coffee table, which is like it's an IKEA coffee table, so it's not that hard. Honestly, I thought I would have kicked it. How hard I did, I thought it would have moved, but it didn't. And yeah, but yeah, it's like really bruised. And I mean, I've stubbed my toe tons of times. I mean, everybody has. Um, but this time I knew it was different because I was like laying down and there's the pain and like dad when I told dad about it he's like, did you cry? Because I mean stubbed toes so they fucking hurt no matter what, but this one it just like hurt really badly and I was like, oh fuck, something's wrong. But I read somewhere like a long time ago, I know WebMD is like not the solution, but I felt like for a broken toe or for a toe injury that would be fine because from what I've heard and what people tell me, like because it's the only thing I bring up because it's the newest thing that's happened to me. um but from what I've heard, even if it was broken, there would be nothing that the doctors could do. So like either way, I just have to elevate and then ice it and whatnot. And this is kind of the perfect situation to fuck up your foot because I don't really have to go anywhere.
Are
Um,
you? Is it elevated right now?
yeah,
Uh,
it's not. It's supposed to be like higher right now, but yeah, I have it on a chair. Um, but yeah, what was I talking about? Oh, but I like there's a lot of tips, I guess, like what people are telling me, like if you can move it. One gross thing or two gross things is that I read if you can move it and you don't feel any like cracking, makes me want to throw up. But if you don't feel any cracking, then it's fine. Or if you don't like hear it, not hear it, but if you don't like feel that there's like bone moving. Um, and a helpful tip that I found from WebMD was that you don't have to go to the hospital unless it's pointed in the wrong direction. Unless it's dislocated, then it's basically tape it to your other toe and you're good. But like I said, I think it's just sprained. It's badly bruised. I sent you a picture and it
yeah, I
looks
wish.
disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look good, guys. I'll take one. I took one for the team. You don't have to look as bad.
No, I'm not gonna send it. It's pretty bad, but it's okay. It's I just can't. My friend was like, "Of course you would find a way to like where everybody's living their most sedentary life right now, and I still find a way to hurt myself, which is very me." But that's not the worst thing to happen to me though. This past week, the worst thing is that I finally downloaded TikTok.
I thought
I
you
don't,
had it for a long time.
No, that so Sebastian did too. So he would send me TikToks, and I was like, I want to open these, but they send me into another website. Like they opened a Safari thing, and I was like, I don't
Yeah.
really want to open this. And then he was like, well, I thought you watched TikToks, and I said, no, I watch TikTok compilations. And
What
somehow that
the?
sounded
That's
sadder.
worse.
I know. But because I like those that were like TikToks that have Vine energy.
Uh,
Because I thought like it was recommended to me one day because I think I watched like a Cody Co video on TikToks. And then YouTube was like, so let's send her every TikTok video that's ever fucking existed. But then I finally got one, and I'm not even kidding when I tell you that I spent that Saturday was the entire day I was on TikTok. I think I took a couple of hours to like go to on Animal Crossing, but the entire day I was on TikTok. And that little motherfucker that tells you to stop scrolling. Oh my god, I fucking hate his face.
I I I don't even. I have it, but I never go on it. I only go on it when other people send me TikToks.
See, I think I know it's going to be like a fad for me. Like I think right now I'm on it all the time, but it'll start to like fade and I'll only go on it sometimes, but it came at the perfect time because I mean, even though I don't go and do anything because my car's battery's dead, I can't go anywhere, but like this toe thing has kind of made me not want to walk around as much. So I was just in my bed all day. And I also had like the worst cramps ever. So it just was like I just didn't want to get out of bed basically. And that was the only thing that entertained me was a bunch of TikToks.
Some of my friends, like, I told them I was like, man, it ain't it. And they were telling me that you need to you need to watch it so like the your for your page or whatever
For you.
will be tailored to whatever you want, but I
It
can't.
and there's a lot of like cooking stuff, which I know you won't care about, but there's a lot of like practical stuff too, like giving you tips on how to do things. Um, oh, and another thing too is that the reason I brought up the whole like wanting to watch movies with plot twists is that I keep getting recommended people saying like this is the scariest movie I've ever seen, and half of them are people that are like these are underrated movies that you've never seen and you should see, and it's like
District 9.
Hereditary. It's like Hereditary and like The Killing of a Sacred Deer, which like to the normal audience that's probably on TikTok, they've never heard of it, but to somebody that watches like so many or Hindi. I was trying to say horror and indie, or who watches a lot of indie horrors. Um, I've seen them all. Like I've seen almost all of the ones that they talk about, but there's been a few where they talk about like not horrors per se, but movies that fuck with your mind and
uh,
they like recommend them. So I have a couple of those saved. So maybe one day we'll pick them. But I think you should go on a little bit more. And some of the and I texted you and Emily that one filter that inverts your face is wild.
oh
You need
yeah.
to try it.
What is that?
So so when you tap on it, you put on the filter, do it right now. And when you tap on it, it inverts your face and it shows you how everybody sees you. Cause you know how you when you look in the mirror and like you look yourself in the camera, it's flipped the other way. And so you finally get to see how people see you and it's wild. My face looks lopsided.
I feel like everyone's face would look lopsided.
Well, yeah, like I just didn't in my camera how it is currently, I look normal to myself, but when I use the inverted thing, my face, like one of my eyes is lower, one of my like one part of my mouth is like crooked, like it's weird. But when I turn it back, I look normal to myself.
Uh, I don't know. I mean,
You should try it. It's wild.
have you made any TikToks?
No, I'm not on there to make anything. Maybe if like Ari does something cute, but how he's laying right now is kind of cute.
Did you ever get the thing called it's like Vine 2. It's called Byte.
No.
BYTE. I
Mm-mm.
made a bite on there just because I wanted to see what's up of me just aggressively throwing a sock into my sock drawer
Oh, I
and
think
then the
you've told
loot.
me about it.
It's pretty funny. I like it.
See, I think, and I keep watching like the dumb shit people do on TikTok, and I feel like you would like it. So I don't know why you like. I think some of the challenges people do, or some of the stupid shit they do, is so you.
Like what? Do you have any?
If I find one, if I have one that I saved, I can show you. But I don't know, just people. I don't. I can't explain it. It's like just like dumb Vine stuff, or like the little videos that I send you, like that, like that one of There's this one, I should have saved it, but of this guy that's pretending he's pretending he's like a visitor of your house or
Mm-hmm.
something, like say like a relative. He comes into the house and he's like, "Oh, hey everybody." And then he instantly runs up to your room and checks it and he's like, "They didn't even fucking clean it." Like it's like a joke on how if like our grandparents were coming over, then mom and dad would make us clean our room. Like the first
Oh.
thing they were gonna do was run up to your room and see if you cleaned it. Like a really silly, like easy joke like that.
I see. I really like the one you sent a long time ago. I don't know if it was a TikTok per se, but it was
The museum one.
yeah, the museum one. That one was really funny.
See stuff like that. I think you could I think if you like scroll through like your friend said, you need to like the ones that you really love, and then I think if you watch them longer, I don't know how their algorithm works, but it's it knows me already. It knows exactly what I like.
That's crazy. Yeah, I can't find the stupid flip face thing. I'll do it after.
I'll send it to you. I'll like show you how to do it.
Oh, I see it. So how do I do it?
So you put the filter on and then you tap.
That's flipped?
Did you do it?
It just shows me a mirror.
Let me see the filter, the icon.
It's like a little there's like
Like
a
two
little divider.
arrows? No, you're doing the wrong one.
Oh, we'll figure this out after.
Oh, but I did watch. You can figure it out right now while I talk about the movie I watched because I watched The King of Staten Island,
Oh yeah. Is that a movie or is that a show?
a movie. Judd Apatow movie.
Oh, I thought it was a show for some reason.
What?
I don't know.
And it was pretty. Oh wait, let me show you. You're gonna have to cut some of this.
No, we ain't gonna cut anything.
I don't know how
This
to.
is all natural.
Wait, what am I doing? Oh, I accidentally almost shared my screen. Oh no. Oh yeah, do you see the little? Where is it? The two
Oh,
arrows?
I see. That's all I need to know.
Okay. But it was pretty good. I think so. It's a Judd Apatow movie, and it's I don't know if Pete Davidson like wrote it, but he stars in it, and it was okay. I mean, for a Judd Apatow movie, it was kind of the same like critiques I have for all of his movies. Is they're too long? Some scenes you could cut, but overall, it was pretty good. So
It's
it's
trippy.
weird, right?
I don't think I look that different.
Take off your glasses.
Oh. I
Oh,
I
oh,
think I look
don't
weird
hurt
without my
yourself.
glasses no matter what though.
But it shows you like exactly how weird you look.
That's weird.
There you go.
I want Pete Davidson to do this.
Oof.
I want his reaction.
I think though I don't know if I said this in the past times we talked about him, but I don't really like his stand up. I don't think he's that great on SNL, but I think in this movie he was pretty funny. His acting wasn't bad. Like even when he was being sincere or like had a sad moment.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't overtly, so it was about it's kind of well it's largely based on his life, but it's I think some of the facts are like fictionalized. Um and I was hoping it wouldn't be too like what I thought was going to happen, it was going to be like really emotional. Um like funny but also like too emotional, but I feel like it perfectly fit his personality where I don't think he actually cried in it, but I kind of liked that because he could still be emotional while still being himself, you know? Like they didn't try to put him into something that didn't fit him. And to me, like SNL and like stand up, that's for him to say because that's a personal thing, but I feel like pushing him into SNL is not really a thing that serves his talents correctly. Like I'd much rather watch him in another movie than see him in another season of SNL. Or like a show. I don't know. Like a different kind of show, like a scripted show.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was okay. It entertained me. It wasn't, like I said, it was a little long in some sections, but yeah, it was pretty good.
I gotta check it out.
I think you'd like it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's all you watched?
Mhm. That I can remember. I'm sure I watched something else, but
All
yeah.
right. Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
All right. Monsters versus Aliens came out in 2009, directed by Rob Letterman and Conrad Vernon, written by Maya Forbes, Wallace Worodarski, Rob Letterman, Jonathan Abel, and Glenn Berger. Principal cast is Reese Witherspoon, Rainn Wilson, and Stephen Colbert. And it's about a woman transformed into a giant after she is struck by a meteorite on her wedding day, becomes part of a team of monsters sent in by the US government to defeat an alien mastermind trying to take over Earth.
Yeah.
Estimated budget was 175 million. Opening weekend it made about 59 million. In the US it grossed about 198 million, but worldwide it grossed about 381 million. So, did pretty well.
Man, it's this movie came out the same year of a lot of good animated movies.
What
Like
year? I mean, I know what
2000,
year, but what?
2009,
I meant
Cloudy
like
with a
what?
Chance of Meatballs, The Princess and the Frog, Up, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Coraline, uh, Ice Age, Dawn of the Dinosaurs, and probably the greatest one, Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeakquel, Astro Boy. It was up against a lot. It was up against a lot of good animated films that year.
Already. Um, well, let me say how I don't know how the critics received those, but for this movie, it got a 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb, 73% Rotten Tomatoes, and a 56% on Metacritic.
That's disgusting. I want us to
Oh yeah,
revisit the
way,
entire.
way too high.
No, 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 no. The opposite.
It actually had, this is our first movie in a while that had a lot of fun facts. So we'll get
That's
to
good.
those at the end. I try to fit in some, but I think most of them I just, oh no, actually all of them I kept at the end. Um, yeah, I took a lot of notes just to get like of some of my thoughts, but mostly to get some of the plot line because I knew I wouldn't remember it. Okay, so anything else to say before we get into it?
I picked this movie because it's a comfort movie,
That's
and
because this movie was very uncomfortable for me.
was it really?
Well,
Uh,
yes, only because of the human animation was really disturbing.
it was not bad.
It was not bad. I just didn't like the way they styled humans like faces.
Oh,
It was really
the
disturbing.
president was like he looked like a melted gumdrop. He
I
looked
think
really weird.
the one person in the movie that really just like I didn't like, well, two, I think it was like her aunt or that random lady at the beginning, which we'll get to her. I have a note about her, and then her mom, Susan's mom,
Mm.
freaked me out.
Derek's head is weird too.
Yeah, I just didn't like the monsters looked really cool, but I didn't like the people. But the animation, yeah, it's pretty good. And we have some fun facts about those. Um, because this movie was actually it set a lot of precedents, which I didn't know
It
in
it it
animation.
it holds up surprisingly
Pretty
well.
well, yeah.
Like
But well, so my first note about this movie is that So the first scene is like some asteroid is coming to the Earth, or the meteorite that we talked about already in the plot summary. Um, but I think the one of the first things I noted was the guy was like playing with some ball thing, and it was going towards the screen. And I just love when I watch a movie that in 2D that I know was made to be 3D. It's so
Yeah.
cheesy.
The it's like a paddle with the
Yeah,
ball
yeah.
is like a yeah.
But that's the only one that I remember that was like distinctly a 3D moment. Maybe there's other ones, but that
There's
one
a
felt really annoying.
there's a couple. That one it was like it was
So
so
terrible.
obvious. The other ones were a little bit well hidden. I
Well,
know
I
some of them.
didn't notice it, so that's nice at least. That was the only one I noticed, and it reminded me of I think the third Spy Kids that was in 3D, and there was a lot
Yeah.
of moments where they were like, "Follow me," and they put their hands like in the screen.
Yeah.
So like we said, we started off. I think it's an asteroid, meteorite, whatever the fuck. It's headed to Earth, and the guys that are working there are freaking the hell out. Um, we never see them ever again in the movie though. So, and then we like land in some home where there's random flashes every few moments, and I was so I truly I thought I've seen this movie before, but I think this is one of the cases where I've seen the trailer a lot. And I know you and Homer watched it a lot, I think, so I would see like moments of it. So there's a lot of things that I remember from this movie, but there's so many that I don't, if that makes sense. Because I think I've
hmm
seen this movie in like, um,
Bits and pieces.
yeah, but I thought I'd seen all of it. But yeah, so there's like like random flashes, and then we find that it's Susan's friends taking pictures and like they're in their wedding like bridesmaids dresses already, and it looks like it's like 4 in the fucking morning. But also, why would they take pictures? Like, I know this is a kids movie, but logically, they're walking into her bedroom through the hallway of her dark ass house, and they're taking pictures while they're walking. What are they taking pictures of exactly? That's a rhetorical question.
I don't know.
But that was just so weird. And so, like I said, they're in their bridesmaids' dresses and they're there to wake her up so she can see her fiance. I think he's a weatherman or something.
Yeah, he's a weatherman.
And he's played by Paul Rudd. And for a second, I usually don't like to I only saw the principal cast because I do these like right before I add the notes right before I watch the movie. But for animated movies to make it because I don't know why, but I just don't really like animated movies, or it takes a lot for me to actually watch them. So a fun game I like to give myself so I'm not that bored is to try to figure out who the voices are
hmm
without looking it up. And it took me too long to figure out who her fiance was.
I had no idea it was Paul Rudd.
I figured it out whenever they were in the gazebo.
Oh, okay.
That's when I realized.
That's not too long.
No. But his voice is so recognizable, and we just watched a movie with him in it, so I should have known. Um, yeah. So Reese, well, her name is Susan, but in some of the notes I call her Reese. She's getting married. The animation. So, oh, I did make this note. So my next note is the animation is great, but the people are fucking scary.
Mm.
Um, and the first thing, so like, they get to the church, and I think they like walk in and they like they greet some of their family or something. And there's this lady there that is, I think she's some like aunt of Derek, or no, she's the mom. She's Derek's mom,
Yeah.
and she has a short thumb. And then like Susan's reaction to her short thumb is like so rude, and that they have this whole interaction where she's like, "Oh, but like it'll skip a generation. Derek doesn't have this, so your kids will have it." And she's like, "Okay." That's the only scene with that mom. That's
No,
the
that's not
only
true.
time. Is it not?
That whole thing is built up for another joke. Whenever I'll tell you when, but it does pay
Remember this at all?
off. uh, that I, one thing I like about this movie is like there's so many, or there's not so many. There's a couple tiny things that
I caught some like tiny jokes.
yeah, that just like kind of build up, but to not that big of a release. Like I'm gonna tell you what it was, and you're gonna be like, oh, that's not even.
Yeah, I
It's
can't even remember right now. Maybe if it was towards the very end, I was kind of already checked out.
no, it was like 5 minutes after that happened.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, so they like are doing, I guess they're meeting outside in the like the whole gazebo thing that I mentioned. And she's so excited to go to Paris. She's already mentioned it so many times that she's going to Paris. And this whole plan that she has where from I don't know how she fucking thinks this, but from a small town, he's gonna eventually start to report abroad. Like, lady, what? He's a weatherman in a local like area. Are you kidding? Anyways, but she can't go to fucking Paris because of this idiot, and that men are trash because he wants to go to Fresno instead, so he can get this one job, or he's applying or something. I don't know. Anyways, so instead of going to Paris, they're going to go to Fresno. And I had a question for you. So, is there a place, a location that is so bad that if Kayla really wanted to vacation there, you would reconsider dating her?
Oof. Probably like North Korea or something. I
Oh, that's a good answer. I didn't even think of that.
that's probably the only place. I don't know.
Or maybe not. So let's lessen the stakes. Instead of reconsider dating her, it would make you lose a little respect for her.
A little respect. She's like, I really want to go here.
Or it would just
Uh,
make you think like differently of her. Not lose respect, but be like, what? It would like you would have to take a pause.
it'd have to be somewhere weird in the U.S. Like, I really want to go to like Idaho, or like I really want to like. It's my life's passion to go to Montana.
They can some I mean, who knows? Maybe some states can like surprise you.
But it'd just be super random.
That would be
Like
really
I
random.
really would love to go to Pennsylvania.
Honestly, this is what Sebastian probably thinks of me because I told him the next vacation I want to do. Like my dream vacation right now. I mean, there's some places I want to go, but my dream vacation is to go to like a small town in Texas, stay at a local B&B, not an Airbnb, a B&B, and just like eat around the local areas, do what locals do. That's like my dream right now, what I want to do. So he probably is like,
Mm. No, I'd have to be
why?
somewhere super random.
Or you know where I told him I want to get married?
Fresno.
Yeah. No. I told him, hold up, I need my cat. Did you hear his little cry?
Yeah, what was that? I don't want anyone to think you're an abuser.
So he likes to sit behind, like directly behind my laptop. And it closes a little bit. And it's just, I don't like him to be on my table when I'm working, when I'm eating, like when I'm doing stuff. So I have to move him. And I mean, some like cat owners might notice that meow because it's basically like a whine. I'm not hurting him. I have to like pick him up. And when he sees me pick him up, it's basically if you were like telling your kid you like stop doing that and they're like, but why? Or no. It's like that.
Yeah, we gotta post this video because Livia just threw her cat across the apartment.
Like that one streamer where she just like goes by.
Exactly.
No, I would never. No, I fucking hate when people do that because there's this whole thing about cats having 9 lives and they can always land on their feet and they do, but they're also like they're little, like you shouldn't ever throw your cat around like they're a fucking like like just because they can jump high and just because they're like really is the word like nimble is that a word? Just because they're like
Agile.
they can land agile doesn't mean you can just like fucking fling them around everywhere.
Yeah,
No,
people like that.
I pick him up and I put him down. You saw how I did it.
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to clarify. People like that, they probably couldn't even like adopt a highway.
Right. Okay, so she walks away, and something that I wish would happen to you in this moment, she gets hit by a fucking meteor. And then there's like all these marks around her dress and they just like disappear, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, like there's no way, first of all, that she wouldn't just blow up instantly or that her dress wouldn't be torn at all. That was kind of weird. And then she starts to grow into a giant in the middle of her ceremony. Is this when the thumb thing comes into play?
Of course, yes. I think you do
Oh,
know it. When
I don't
because
think
Derek's is like, you're glowing, because she just came down the aisle and she's like legitimately glowing green.
neon.
Yeah, and then she grows big and everyone freaks out. And that mom with the short thumb is the first to run out and tries to. It's one of those doors with it's like a handle but a latch on top too. Her thumb is too small to reach the latch. She's like, my thumb, and then everyone just like crashes the door.
That's so stupid.
It's the
So
best
dumb.
payoff that her thumb is
No, it
too short.
isn't. That is so dumb.
Ah.
The writers were basically like, look at this dumb bitch. She doesn't even have a regular thumb to open a
Mm-hmm.
door.
Yep.
Wow. That is so dumb. Anyways, so then the government comes out of nowhere. I think they're tracking this meteor, right? Is that why they're
Mm-hmm.
there so soon?
Yeah.
So they knock her the hell out, and then she wakes up in some cell. And this I've been hearing a lot of like stuff about Karens. So I think that's why it made me think of this. But every time I see a white woman in distress, because she's like basically doesn't know what's going on, she's trying to get these people to like tell her what's happening. I always think why can't she just like Karen her way out of this situation? Because
Yeah.
you know, like the fact, like they just kept saying, like, no, like you live here now. Like, can they actually steal a person? There's no way that she would just, an actual Susan would let that happen to her.
Yeah.
But
Susan
who
wouldn't.
knows? Also, another like thing, I know this is an animated movie, but there's some things I just had to like get out of my mind. So, how did they make her clothes so fast? And who
Uh,
made those clothes? How many people did it take?
they had a bunch of people there.
I guess, but that was a pretty quick turnaround. Honestly, I'm impressed. So she is in her own cell, but then she gets to like go into like some common area, and there's like nothing in either. There's like one table. It's very strange. And we meet the first freak, which is a bug, and I was so I
He's a
don't,
monster.
huh?
He's a monster.
I like to call them freaks though. So it's a bug. I didn't know what kind of bug he was until they said he was a cockroach, but he looks like an ant. Anyways, I also didn't understand how he had an accent, but it makes sense in the like when they tell you how they like came to be, but I was so confused. I also knew that for like instantly that it was Hugh Laurie.
Hmm.
The next freak is Seth Rogen, and he's a blob. And then there's a fish thing. I forgot what he was called. Like I wanted
Link. The
the
missing
link.
link.
I wanted to call it. So they kept referring to the missing link in the fun facts, and I thought there's a movie, an animated movie that came out recently called The Missing Link, and I was so confused.
Uh,
Anyways, do you know who that
but
big?
why?
Do you know who the fish thing was? The missing link.
Yeah, he was Will Arnett.
Yep.
You passed the
Yeah.
quiz.
Did you know that, or did you like figure it out?
I knew that.
It sounded his because for a second it took me a second because his voice sounded weird to me.
I immediately knew.
Because I feel like his voice is lower.
Nah, but just
Uh,
because of Lego Batman.
no, like I feel like his voice is just generally lower. Like maybe he made it higher. I don't know.
He felt like Job from
Oh
Arrested.
yeah, I guess. And the last thing is a big bug. I mean, I don't know what his purpose is. Um,
Insectosaurus. What do you
yeah.
mean? He had the biggest purpose.
Yeah. I know, but I'm in my mindset of watching it at this time that I didn't understand what. Like, I was like, okay, like what is this? He was cute though, so whatever. Um. Oh, and I when they were giving her the tour, I was like, is this the place that people wanted to like storm? Remember when that was a huge like meme?
Was
They
that
wanted
this
to
year?
free the missing link. They're like, get Seth Rogen out of there.
Was that this year?
I don't know. I don't know what year it is. I don't know what day it is.
Because that'd blow my mind if that was this year.
I think so. I love the memes to come out of that though.
Mm.
So fucking funny. Like the one when like the ones that people would be like dancing and they're like me trying to convince the aliens not to kill me or something.
Oh, I had a tweet about that too.
Oh
It was when
god.
the mom in Hereditary, when she's
Mhm.
banging her head on the door on the ceiling.
Yeah.
I said it was that gif and it said me when my alien tries to go back home or something like that. It was funny.
So dumb. Um oh I so my next note is so whenever I don't remember why I think we finally get to meet the aliens that they're talking about. And at this point, I totally forgot what the purpose of this movie was. So I was like, what's happening? Like they go into some ship, and my note was, I guess this is where we meet the aliens. I'm so mad at you for making me watch this.
Hey, aren't you you're so much more
More what?
sophisticated for knowing this movie, for watching it. The amount of wisdom that you have gained,
I just want a moment of silence for how stupid that was.
insurmountable.
Insurmountable, not insurmountable. This movie made you fucking stupid. All right.
I'm editing that out.
All right. So the aliens want the fucking rock that knocked the girl out. I don't know why I'm so mad. Aliens arrive finally in this big ass robot, and the military shows up, and I'm getting Arrival vibes from this.
Mm.
And to give this movie credit, Arrival is basically just knocked this movie off.
Yeah, they should have handled it the same way the
Yeah.
president did.
So
That's like
okay,
iconic.
that so I do remember that scene, and I think it was I saw clips of it. I don't know that is a pretty like famous scene, I think. And I did note that the first time this movie made me laugh was when he's doing the song and then they have a shot of the Secret Service like kind of bopping to and like vibing to it. That
Yeah.
made me go a little bit.
And then he's
Um,
done, he's all out of breath and
yeah.
sweating, which is like it was gross because it was animated well.
Yeah, I also liked I there was a lot of like we said, like there's a lot of little jokes like how they made him walk that whole time and they actually showed him like I feel like in other animated movies they would show him at the top or show him at the bottom and then cut to him just walking up to the top. Or they would just have like a plane give like take him to it. But he they have like a guy halfway handing him a thing of water and he like pours it on
Mm.
his neck. Like that was kind of funny. Um yeah, and it was just I just was annoyed that the aliens are making such a big meal out of this. Like they could have just landed and did their business, but they landed, they waited for his little song. And then they started to like shoot him, but I don't know. Oh no. So they like do something. I don't know. The military's all there and they start to like shoot this thing. Somehow thinking like of course that wouldn't fucking work. Are you kidding me? But I mean, I don't know. It was so dumb. Oh, I also noted that Stephen Colbert was such a great choice to be the president in this movie.
he
He
kind
was
of
pretty funny.
he kind of looks like him if he gained like 50 pounds in his chin.
Yeah. And I didn't write down this fun fact, but I did remember it that they said they designed that character before they cast him. So it just worked that it looked like him. Like they
That's funny.
didn't make it to look like him. Um Yeah, so like I said, obviously it didn't fucking work, that they were just shooting everything at that stupid robot. And then they go to, it looks like a panic room. I don't know what it's called, but the president is there with like everybody trying to figure out what the hell to do. And the guy that takes control of the monsters comes in, and he's showing, this is where we get the backstory of all of them. And I don't remember them. I don't know if you want to tell the backstories.
Yeah, and this is where my only note is. I only took one note during this movie because it's my favorite part. But yeah, so the general's like, I know how to solve this problem. I have a bunch of monsters, and he gives the rundown. Essentially, we already know Susan's backstory. The
Mm.
missing link was frozen, like Captain America, and they thought him out. The cockroach is a mad scientist. He was trying to make the human body as durable as cockroaches are, and he just turned himself into a cockroach. Uh, Insectosaurus was just on a remote island as just a bug, and something happened. I think it was like a nuclear explosion, and it just turned it huge. And then Seth Rogen's character Bob was a mix between there. It was like a food processing, or they were trying to make
Hmm.
some new kind of food product, and it was a tomato injected with some ranch serum, and it like turned into just a big blob, and it gained consciousness. But in between all of those is
Probably my favorite joke of this whole movie.
this is definitely my favorite. Well, it's like there's so many layers to it. There's not that many. There's only like two, but the
So many. Like a fucking lasagna, dude.
at every time the general presents in like a slideshow the monster, there's these like there's this woman who just screams and drops a tray of just straight up mugs every single time. Like she gets a new tray every single time she screams. And then the general gets fed up and he says in my favorite line of this movie, uh, because he sounds so desperate. He sounds so desperate. He's like, will someone please get her out of here?" And then she leaves, and then he introduces Susan, I think, and then you hear the woman scream again, and then it cuts to the president making that same scream, which is hilarious.
That is a pretty solid joke. Another joke that I don't think kids, if you when you were a kid, you probably didn't catch this, and I don't know if you
Mm,
caught it this time.
I did.
Well, you probably did. But when he says that when he was talking about Susan, it gave her enormous size, and he was like holding his hands like where her boobs would be, and then he like moved them really quickly.
Yeah, he realized what he was talking about.
I thought that was funny because I at that moment um when they were showing like images of her, I made the joke in my mind like, oh, she thick, but and then he said that, and I was like, oh, okay, not the only one thinking it. Um, and so they send them to the robot, and also, I mean, I understand for the movie's sake, and one thing I will give this movie is that it's a tight hour and a half. So it went by really quickly. Um, but I if they're collecting monsters, you would think they would have more than what? How many is it? Like five? The insect, yeah, five. You think they would have more than five, right?
It's only 50 years. It's probably hard to come by
Oh,
monsters. They only had that program for 50 years, so
I guess, but whatever. And
that's
then,
where the sequel comes into play.
oh, we'll talk about that. And that my next note is how, because I was curious how long I'd been watching this movie because it felt like it was 10 minutes, but it was already 40 minutes in.
Mm.
And my note was, how the hell have I already watched 40 minutes of this movie? So
That's
I'll
how
give
you
them that. They use every single minute pretty well.
that's how you know it's a good movie.
No, that's not true.
You're like, man,
That's how you know it's
I could take another hour and a half for
that's
this.
how you know it's well edited. Um oh, and then so they have this whole chase scene, and why the fuck did she lead it to people?
Mm.
Where all the people were fleeing, she went directly there. What a dumb bitch.
Were there any
But
casualties?
then I don't know, probably not. It's a kids movie. But then Susan saves the day. Um and then his ship I like this part too, where his ship basically told him to stop being a little bitch and get the meteor himself, because he kept like he just wanted to send another robot, and then his computer was like, "It's just she's stronger than it. Like you have to just go get it." Um, and then I guess because she did a great job and they thought it was all over, they let her go home. They, as in the government, let Susan go home, and then she brings her band of freaks with her. Derek isn't there, so she goes to get his ass while she leaves the aliens with her poor family. Um, I think one joke that I did like, but then it got a little bit played out, was when she kept talking about Derek, and then Bob, I think it's his name, right? The Blob thing.
Bob.
He is so dumb because he doesn't have a brain that he thought that like Derek was his boyfriend or his fiance, and he kept like there was this part where it was before this where he was saying like, well, yeah, I can't wait to see Derek, and they're like, yeah, but that's Susan, and he's like, oh, well, I just want to see Derek, and they're like, well, that's Susan. Like that was kind of funny. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
so she tries to get Derek, and then he like freaks out and he breaks up with her, and he's just such an asshole, which she should have known when he was trying to take her to Fresno instead of fucking Paris. Are you kidding me?
He was like, "Don't
Um,
be proud of me. Be proud of us."
Gaslighting to the finest. She gets abducted by the alien, and in the process kills the big ass bug. Insectosaurus, is that his name?
Insectosaurus, yeah.
Um,
That was
yeah.
honestly worse than when Tony Stark died.
You're just on something today with your stupid jokes. Truly, I cried more than that. Oh, never mind. Somebody's gonna get mad at this joke. Never mind. Um, I'll say it. What is that thing in Inside Out when everybody cried?
Oh, and that character, the one that she's known for the longest time, or
Yeah,
forgot about it.
I I just know that at least Kayla's gonna be mad if I say that.
Wow.
That like fuck that guy. But because I watched that movie at my college, they would show these movies in like big auditoriums, and I went to go see Inside Out with like some of my friends. And when we watched it, like some people were like, "Oh, it's so emotional," and I don't think I'd seen it to this point, but they were like talking about how it's so emotional and that you might cry, and I was like, "Bet I bet I won't." And then that part happened, and like it was like I'd never seen a room full of so many emotional people. Like so many people were not even just like, "Oh, that's sad," because it was a sad moment, but they were sobbing, like crying. It's a fucking movie. Like I just didn't get it, and it, honestly, like maybe I just don't have a soul, but it really wasn't that sad. I
I
don't know.
I don't know.
I just don't have a soul. Anyway, so she gets oh yeah, I say that. And then he's like his whole plan is to make clones of himself, I guess. And then which is already a weird concept to like
Yeah.
just in general. Um and I guess he wants to take over the I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention enough, but I truly don't know what his like intentions were.
Yeah,
Like
I
was he
like just
trying to
finished the
just like
movie and I kind of don't remember. He was trying to take over Earth. He needed that meteor had some
some
specific
powers?
element. Yeah, that was super powerful. Most powerful thing in the universe that he needed to do something. I don't know. Alien stuff.
And it chooses to hit a Susan. Um
Thank God it wasn't a Karen.
the power that she would hold.
we,
Um,
which have you seen that lady who
truly, the fucking. I'm not even kidding when I say she's the scariest thing I've ever seen.
we should
So fucking scary.
she looks like a jester. like
She
a,
looks
like a
like. Have you
mask.
seen that movie, Mama?
No.
Look up Mama.
She
Don't just look up
legit.
Mama. Look up Mama 2013. Look it up. Go to images, and there'll be a monster.
Yeah.
That's exactly what she looks like.
Honestly, she's kind of scary because she's
Truly,
real.
Why do racists, why are they're always the like scariest looking people on the planet. But
Yeah.
what were you gonna say? What we should what?
You know how in the movie Susan is like glowing?
Yeah.
That, but her.
And to like what gets me is that picture where she has her finger like by her on her chin and her
The
hair
long.
looks like that's why it looks like mama to me because the hair is like flowing like her hair is like big and stiff and oh my god like can you like imagine living with that like
Yeah, there was someone with her too, and that's scary.
just waking up to where she like is going to your bedroom puts her finger on her chin, do you want breakfast? That's fucking scary. That is, if I had a sleep paralysis demon, that'd be her. How she got out. Somebody get her.
The raid was successful on Area 51. No one talked about it, but it was successful.
My God. The scariest looking woman I've ever seen in my life. All right. Moving on. Um okay, and then so the aliens or not aliens. I put the aliens are sent to save the world, but I think I meant the monsters.
Yeah, you meant the monster.
So the monsters come and they like are I don't know what the fuck they're trying to do, but they end up playing a Dance Dance Revolution game, and then I don't understand what the fuck this movie is at this point. And then he says that his PhD is in dance, which I don't know if that was supposed to be like an actual joke or if he meant it. Either way, don't get it. Um, and then they successfully blow the place up, and now the Insectosaurus, is not dead. It's a butterfly.
And that made me feel even better than when the Avengers won.
All right.
Yeah.
I want every time you have a bad joke, I just want to like not say anything so you
Yo,
can sit in how bad it was.
so I can feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um oh and at this point I sometimes I would like be so into a movie where I don't realize where Ari is. And so I
Oh,
was looking around for him and this was the part that I texted you because I was like I didn't realize he was right behind me. And when he like sat there, because he didn't watch the whole movie with me, I don't think. I think he watched some of it. But he was like staring at the movie. Like he was actually watching it, and he's only done that for a few movies.
what are the other ones?
There was this one movie I watched that was about cats. It was like it wasn't the musical Cats, but it was like a documentary just about cats, and he was really intrigued with what was going on. And I don't there was another one too, and I think it might have been another animated one that he just loved watching.
Man, if it doesn't matter what any critics think, as long as Ari watched it and was intrigued, I'll
And
sleep just fine, bro.
I hated the fact that out of all the movies I watch, and I watch a lot of movies, that this was the first one in a while that he's like actually
He's like,
paying attention to. And
oh.
I think it was because we watched this on HBO Max, which doesn't have a Roku thing for some reason. So I had to watch it on my laptop like a fucking idiot. And I think that's why, like, maybe he was just like, why are
No,
you watching this on a laptop?
no, it really was the movie, the content, the plot.
Yeah, I think I saw a tear drop from
That
his eyes. Um,
was never mind.
what? Please.
No, no.
No, do it.
That was because you. No, no, no.
Do it.
That
Say
was
it.
because you hit him.
Oh my god, I do not hit my cat.
You wanted me to say it, okay? It's not my fault for thinking it. It's your fault for making me say it.
And then they just have a happy ever after. Um,
She breaks up with Derek because
oh yeah.
which is weird that he was gonna get a promotion if he got an exclusive, only if he got an exclusive interview with her, and she's like, no. That's pretty
Yeah,
much it.
weird. Um,
She found out that who she was enough, and she didn't need to be with anyone else. but herself.
Girl power is what I like to call that. I do have a fun fact about the ending. So this will start it off. So originally Susan finished the movie back in her normal size, but it was decided after screening that it would be more fun and satisfying to keep Susan with her superpowers and part of the monster team.
So they showed a movie. There's a edit out there where she's normal.
Mm-hmm.
Does she still get with Derek?
I don't think so. I think, like, of course not. Why would she get with him? I think that was like, I guess the whole point was her to be like, to experience what it's like to be powerful. And then she brought that into her own life. But I guess they thought it was, like I said, it's more fun.
Yeah, it is. It
I
really
think,
is.
yeah, and that's more surprising because there was a part, I didn't even mention this, but there was a part in the ship when she was in her normal size again.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I thought they were going to keep her small, and I don't know if I would have liked that, but I think I liked that they went with the unexpected ending, that it wasn't like, oh, she's back to normal, she's fine, rather than her being like accepting her flaws. Like, I feel like if we're gonna give this movie to kids, that's a better message, maybe. That like the thing you don't like about yourself is actually the like one of the better things about yourself. I don't know.
It
Anyways.
also sets up for a sequel.
Um, yes, which I have a fun fact about, but we'll do that last because it's long.
Oh.
Um, so the first one is this is the first computer animated movie directly produced in a stereoscopic 3D format instead of being converted into 3D after completion.
That's what's up.
So that's what I meant when I said like it set a precedent because I'm sure, well, it says first, so I'm sure there's been a lot that have been done that way. Another fun fact, if this movie was rendered on one computer, have you seen these yet, Anthony?
What do you mean?
Have you seen these fun facts?
No.
Okay, so if this movie was rendered on just one computer, how long do you think it would have taken in years for this to render it
Oh. One computer?
on one computer?
What are the specs? I'm just kidding. Like
How long in years?
in years.
Mm-hmm.
Like 10,000 years.
4,071.
4,000? That's not bad.
That's a lot though.
That is a lot. Honestly, I'd wait.
And I bet too, because it doesn't mention like how, like if that's nonstop, if that's
That's gotta be
a work day.
24/7.
Another one, Bob, which is an acronym BOB. I don't remember what it was for. He has 12,000 bubbles inside of him.
That they like individually had like manipulated, or
I guess.
oh.
That's all it said. The first full-length trailer for this movie appeared during the Super Bowl. I don't know. They gave me the Roman numerals, so I'm not even gonna try. But it appeared in 3D. Prior to the game, various displays were set up throughout the US giving away free 3D glasses. I don't know if I remember this, but if somebody out there has these glasses, I would love to see it. But that's kind of like the way, like the reason I added this because like I'm a marketing person. So during the time, I feel like this is smart to like give away free 3D glasses, and that's like, especially if they did this like set up in Walmart, you can imagine like kids being excited and grabbing it. But the thing that gets me about this is I don't really think it paid off because if we look back at how much it made opening weekend, it didn't do well. I mean, overall it did make a lot of money. Even just in the US it made its money back, but like 59 million for a Super Bowl promotion, that's like not great.
43. Super Bowl 43.
There you
XL.
go.
I.
Yeah. At one point, Galaxar, which is the alien, played by Rainn Wilson.
Oh,
At
that's who
one
it
point,
was.
at one point, Galaxar curses, "Oh, Spaceballs," which is a reference to the movie Spaceballs, and I added that because that's our brother's. Like, I don't know if it's his favorite movie. That's Homer's. Like, I think I would say it's his favorite movie.
It's definitely up there. for him if it's not his favorite.
It's very good. I don't know if you've seen it in a while, but
It's been a
very
long
good.
time.
Oh, and I added this fun fact because it's very nerdy and I thought you would appreciate it. Several hundred Hewlett-Packard XW8600 workstations were used, along with a render farm of HP ProLiant Blade servers with over 9,000 server processor cores to process the animation sequences. Animators used 120 terabytes of data to complete this movie and even used 6 terabytes for an explosion scene.
Wow, 120 terabytes?
How much can you give us like a visual representation of what that looks like or not really? Like, can you describe how big that is?
How
Because I
many
feel like
gigabytes does your company own?
meaning
That's from Jake and Amir, if you don't know. Dubes.
you live in this company or you live in this building, an internet build.
um, Visual representation.
Do you know what I
Uh,
mean? Like, is there a way you can like,
in layman's terms.
yeah, just so like people like me, if you told me it took 120 terabytes, I don't know what that means.
Okay. So, do you know what a gigabyte is? It's a billion bits. A billion.
And
Right?
that's like when you get a flash drive, right? You can have a gig, like a couple of gigabytes or something, right?
Yes. So, like, your phone has like 64 gigabytes
Hmm.
of information that it can hold.
How many gigabytes is in a terabyte?
1,000. So
So,
it's a trillion bytes.
holy shit. There
So
you go.
120 trillion. I have a 2 terabyte hard drive that Kayla got me for my birthday, like a long time ago, like junior, senior year of high school. And I put everything, like everything that I own was on there. And it only took up like 2% of it. And it's, I know that's not a lot because you don't know how much I have, but
Yeah.
it's
No,
like my
but I know
entire,
you have a lot. I mean, you're a computer guy, so I would assume you would have a lot.
I'm the computer man. And it's a lot of footage too, and video takes, obviously it's a lot because this movie was 120 terabytes, but it's ridiculous. That's a lot. Your average phone has like 64 gigs, so it'd take 1,000 phones or 10,000 phones to get. It would take a lot of phones to get to that. 1,000 phones to get you that.
All right. Here's the last fun fact, and it's about your squeakquel. Many fans have been demanding a sequel for the past decade. Ever since DreamWorks Animation was bought by Comcast in 2016, the company has been restructuring the movie's slates throughout the years. Some sequels were either canceled, pushed, or put in a temporary hiatus. For example, Madagascar 4, Shrek. What the hell? Shrek Love? What is that?
Shrek Love When I Can 5. Shrek 5, whatever.
Love When I Can. Maybe I typed that in somewhere.
Shrek is love, Shrek is life.
I know. Sorry, okay. For example, Madagascar 4, Shrek 5. Oh, I know what happened. I typed that in on accident. Shrek 5 and The Croods 2, for example, was canceled on November 2016, but a year later, DreamWorks put it back in production with a new 2020 release date. Oh, that's for The Croods 2. So Madagascar 4 and Shrek 5 were canceled, but The Croods 2 was pushed
Bro, what is happening?
with my whole thing.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Sorry, do you want to
No,
edit around this or no?
I don't want to. It's too funny.
So what happened is I like was typing I just like typed a no and I guess I accidentally had it like the cursor on there. I don't know.
Shrek When I
Where,
Love is
where did
5. It's a bold move.
basically
DreamWorks?
we're not good at having a podcast.
Not at all.
All right, so DreamWorks put okay. Disney slash Pixar's Incredibles 2 2018 was released 14 years later after its predecessor. That means that there might be a chance that this movie will get a sequel in the future.
Yeah, but
So,
The Incredibles was The Incredibles. Monsters vs. Aliens is what it is. So
yeah, I honestly don't even know. I don't even remember that this movie exists. Like, I bet tomorrow it'll just like
it
be
is on HBO Max. So maybe it'll get a
second life.
yeah.
Who knows? So that brings us to Anthony's petition to
Yeah, release a Snyder Cut. Who needs that? Release Monsters vs. Aliens 2.
they can't even release that. They have to make a whole new movie. How many terabytes do you think that company owns, Anthony? They used all 120.
That's a good question. Damn, I don't know.
All right,
It'd be
well,
worth it though.
my final thoughts are I mean, I think me telling you that Surf's Up was good made you have some sort of ego that you thought you could just make me watch any movie and like it.
No,
Um, but I did not like this movie, Anthony.
that's okay. Because I didn't. And if I got anyone to watch it, it's worth it.
I hope mom and dad why because I don't know if they watch every single movie, but I hope they watched this one and they were like, why?
I know mom does. I don't think dad does. I'm gonna ask mom right now. She did.
I bet she liked it.
Probably.
Seems like a movie she would like.
Well, what are we watching next time? For a
You
guest,
don't
this
have
is
any
news to
final
me.
thoughts?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a masterpiece. Like I said,
Um,
if I got anyone else to watch it, it's a win.
all right. Oh yeah, I didn't even tell you. We do have a guest.
Nah, we are bad at this podcast thing.
How? I mean, I've
I'm just
mentioned it
playing.
to you, and I knew you wouldn't have a guest. I'm our show's booker, so I'm the only one that needs to know. Um, well, you had your best friend on, so I thought it'd be time I have mine. So JT is going to be joining us, my best friend.
I'm excited.
Lives, lives in Dallas. I'll give you his address. I'm kidding. Oh, oh, sorry, I had a random text. Um, yeah, and he picked the movie.
Was
He
it a
texted
documentary?
me, huh?
A long time ago, he wanted us to watch a documentary. He was like,
No,
"You
it's
should
not a
watch that."
documentary.
Oh,
No, it's a movie that I think you'll also be excited to watch. Um, yeah, I don't know how else to. We'll give him like a proper introduction next time. But like I said, he picked the movie and he told me like maybe a few minutes before we started recording what the movie was. But we're gonna be watching Moonlight,
oh,
which I've seen like twice, and I haven't seen it in very long. But yeah, be sure to watch Moonlight. Oh wait, I think it's on Netflix, but let me double check right now. And I'm excited because and you know what too? I think it's on I don't know if y'all have been on Netflix recently. I'm assuming everybody has, but Netflix has done a really cool collection. I don't know how to find it now though.
oh
Um
yeah.
so Netflix, I hate their settings. But I think if you go do you know what I'm talking about? What was it called? I can't find it now, but it happened. They made like a collection of yeah, it's on Netflix, but they made a collection for Black Lives Matter, and I don't know how you can find it on the app because their app fucking sucks. But if you go on your Netflix app, you should be able to find it somewhere. It popped up every time I would go on my app for a few days, but then I guess they thought it was a trend, so they just stopped doing that, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, so it's a part of that collection, and if there's a way you can find it, there's some amazing. There's a lot of movies on there that I've already seen, a lot of TV shows that I haven't, and the ones I have made me like really happy that they actually curated a really good collection of movies with and by Black voices. So if you get a chance to check out that collection, very well curated, and I'm very glad that Netflix did that, and I hope that other places follow suit because I haven't seen any other apps do that. Even
Yeah,
Favor, even a an app that I do or that I use to like order food, they have a selection or they have a section in their app to like find local restaurants that are owned by Black people. So
that's awesome.
a lot of apps and a lot of places are doing great things. So yeah,
Yeah,
watch
in on
Moonlight.
Netflix, I found it. If you go to
Yeah,
the
how do you?
coming soon tab and go to notifications,
Oh my
there's
god.
a yeah, it's a little convoluted. There's a it says Black Lives and Stories Matter. Explore recommendations. It was on June 9th.
Oh, okay, yes, I see it now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and Moonlight is on there.
and a lot of good things are on here too. I mean, don't let this be the end all be all, but it's a great place to start.
Oh, for sure.
Alrighty, excited.
Yeah, should be a good episode. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Hit us up on our Twitter at what is our Twitter? I
I
normally
have no
have
idea.
them at Bro Sis Show and our Instagram at Brother Sister Show. If you have anything you want to talk to us about, follow us, DM us. If you want to be on the episode, an episode.
And you could pick the movie if you let us know beforehand.
Yeah.
You can pick the movie that we watch. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So follow us, DM us, stay safe, wear a fucking mask. Bye.